Who's your favorite Fatui Harbinger? Now some of you will say Senora, and that's valid. Some of you will say child, and I will never be able to understand you. But some of you, like me, will say it's Scaramouche. And for those of you, oh boy do I have a treat. Originally I meant to make an animatic where the traveler tries to get the noses from Scaramouche, only for Scaramouche to transform into his boss form and the traveler having to fight him. I was working on the storyboard for it when I realized that I kind of didn't really want to make an animatic out of it anymore, and so I decided to make a design video instead. In case you didn't know, this is not the first part of my design series, so if you're interested in this type of content, there is more of it on my channel. The last one was actually me turning my OC into a Genshin character. But let's start actually talking about the design process. First of all, the footage you saw was from the storyboard, where I essentially sketched out a frame of Scaramouche in his boss form. I started to work out all the little details of his design in grayscale because that just saves a ton of time, and it kind of helps you to not focus on overly tiny details and colors yet. I definitely wanted to stick somewhat close to his original outfit and kind of mix it with the Raiden boss. I gave him long sleeves that go up to his wrist, horns, and traditional Japanese geita. However, as you will later see, I kind of messed up with the sleeves and made them short again, but you know, whatever, what happens happens. And also, very obviously, I gave him 4 extra arms and the weird kind of floaty disc thingy that's meant to resemble his hat. And in case you haven't noticed, I also gave him the puppet-style joints that the Raiden boss has as well. I just thought it was fitting since he was the prototype for her. For the color scheme, I essentially went with his original colors, except I adjusted a few things here and there. Now that we have the design figured out, let's move on to the pose for the illustration. For this, I generally just block out the silhouette of the character. It makes it really easy to see if a pose is going to be effective or confusing for what you're trying to convey. In this case, I want him to look like he's incredibly powerful. Once I had a couple of poses figured out, I ran to my Discord as per usual to ask them for their opinion. And I'm glad I did, because if I hadn't, we would have arrived at a completely different outcome. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing whips of upcoming projects and drawings, or just want to hang out with apparently 75 other artists, then you're welcome to join. There's just a ton of fun people there. Like seriously, come join us. As for refining the pose, I literally just pasted in the black and white version of the Scaramouche design from earlier, shifted around a couple things. This is where the short sleeves came back by accident, and I also added the arms. And now it's sketching time. This is where you put in all of the unnecessary tiny details that we've avoided for the last couple days. Scaramouche has so many freaking details in his outfit, it's honestly crazy, but it also looks really nice, so I can't even be mad about it. A lot of his outfit I pretty much left the same as his original, except I added little shoulder pads that kind of resemble the weird metal thing he has on the shoulder. I also gave him a crop top just because I thought it would look cool, and it kinda does look cool, so don't even ask me what's going on with this weird armor pants skirt thingy situation, because I don't know, I thought it looked nice and I didn't think about it any further. For the additional arms, I just recycled the patterns he already has on his sleeves. We're all thieves in our hearts. We're gonna breeze through the line art again because for some reason for these videos I always decide to use huge canvases with very small details that just end up looking pixelated in the video. Plus, it's literally just me drawing lines. I don't really have much to say about that. Oh my god, watch me make a stroke. And another stroke! Oh my god, and it's even another stroke. Super exciting, I know, right? I like to make my line art very clean so that I can essentially just color drop everything into the drawing and don't have to worry about not coloring over my lines and stuff, because that is very time consuming. And so far this epic hack of very clean lines has saved me a lot of time. Next up is me blocking out everything that needs to be colored and then adding flat colors on top. Most of them I just picked up from the previous colored version and then adjust them once they're all on the canvas. For this, it's kind of a lot about knowing contrasts, knowing color contrasts, knowing what works well together. But honestly, for me, I'm just looking at it while I'm drawing, I'm picking colors, I'm changing the colors, and I just want it to look nice. I'm not thinking about color contrast or anything. I'm literally just looking, okay, does this look better or does this look better, and then decide based on that. But of course, you kind of need a little bit of a trained eye for that, so it's not like a beginner-friendly way to do it. And thus we arrive at the dreaded shading time. Actually, shading used to be a little bit dreaded for me because it was always very much me being perfectionistic about it and just worrying too much, whereas now I'm just going with what looks nice. I'm just having fun. That's kind of important when you do art. It's not always about, oh, am I making the perfect artwork? It's about making an artwork that looks nice, but you also have fun while doing it. And that's kind of the goal with this one. You also want to pay attention to the materials you're shading, because obviously skin is going to look very different from metal. Skin doesn't really reflect that much light, whereas metal really reflects everything that's around it. And you kind of have to consider that while you shade. And ideally, if you don't really know the differences, get references. Get lots of references. I always use references. That's how you kind of build your visual library. For example, for all of the metal in this, all of the gold, I didn't look at references at all because I've just shaded it so many times that I know exactly what I want to do to make it look nice and shiny. I do always use references for things that I generally don't know how to draw. So I have some huge reference boards on my tablets of all kinds of things, all kinds of characters. Especially for these design videos, I want to make sure that the designs look nice and authentic. So I get a bunch of references, put them into one spot, and then look at them every now and then when I'm drawing. Now, as I'm finishing up with the shading, I'm adding the even more dreaded background. Most of the time it just starts out as a basic gradient, but don't worry, we'll get back to that, and I'm very glad that I decided to refine it later. The canvas was already really huge at this point, and I wasn't able to use many layers at all, but I decided to make it even bigger because I wanted to add some lightning around the sword, and that just didn't fit the cropping very well. And this is where I finally break and decide that the background is too boring for such an epic piece. I am so happy I did, because man, it looks so much better with a proper background, like holy. This is the final piece. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Would you have done anything differently? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And of course, if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe. I'm super close to hitting 10k. Not saying it's my birthday soon, but it's my birthday soon, so like, I would be happy to hit 10k before my birthday. That'd be pretty cool. That being said, I also kind of didn't think about what to do for a 10k special, so maybe don't subscribe yet. Maybe you guys can let me know your suggestions down below. If you want to see more of this design format, there's a playlist on my channel that I will link here, where you can watch some other design videos that I made. In the last one I gave my character a Genshin Impact outfit, and I think it turned out really cool. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Will out. I gotta plug the Discord at least once, you know, there's like a ton of I don't know what to say.